Okay, next up is Sony's E3 conference, and it was okay. I honestly had higher expectations. I'll get into why. Like, they didn't have a bad conference. Like, not by a long shot. Completely trounces Microsoft. Like, Microsoft had just kind of like this middle-of-the-road competent conference. I would say Sony had a good conference, but just I was expecting more. I had higher expectations, you know, and like I've said before, like, you know, I'm a Sony guy. Like, I'm a Sony fanboy. You know, I really want to root for my team, but when my team doesn't do well, I'm gonna fucking, you know, I'm gonna say like, do better, goddammit. So Sony opened with a pre-show, and I actually missed the pre-show initially because I didn't know there was a fucking pre-show. So I had to go back for that stuff and see all the stuff that was announced there. And the pre-show was pretty fucking awesome. Like, that is a way to open your goddamn... Like before you even get to your conference, they showed off a game called Hidden Agenda. Hidden Agenda is done by the Until Dawn team, and it's like this kind of thriller, like this really intense, like choose your own adventure game where like anyone can live and anyone can die, and I'm like, yes. That looks fucking rad as shit. I never got to play Until Dawn. I really wanted to play Until Dawn. It's one of these days, like, I'm gonna just like find it in a goddamn bargain bin, like $15. Yes, just fucking do that and just buy that fucking game and get that done with. So I can play it, because that game looks really fucking fun, and especially because it's like a throwback to, like, you know, old slasher film stuff, which I'm a huge fan of. So I really wanted to play that game, and like Hidden Agenda looks like, you know, they're just taking, you know, what they've established in Until Dawn and, like, you know, building on top of that, and it looks really awesome. Apparently it's coming out later this year. Like, I am shocked because I haven't heard of this game at all, and now all of a sudden it's just boom, like, you know, this game's here, it's coming out this year. I'm like, holy shit. They had Matterfall, which is a Housemarque game. That looks... you know, I mean, if you've ever seen, like, Housemarque games, they did Super Stardust HD, they did Super Stardust Delta, they did a couple of other twin-stick shooters, Resogun, and Outworld, you know, or Outland, yeah, Outland. They're great. I've yet to play a bad Housemarque game. I've played some mediocre ones. Like, their worst stuff is at best competent. Or at worst, competent. Their worst stuff is still, like, competent. So, like, this game looks fucking awesome as shit. So, Matterfall looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Then a new Gran Turismo. You know, like the next Gran Turismo after, like, we haven't had one in forever. And I love the fact that, like, you know, Microsoft starts their conference. You know, check out our, you know, top of the line, awesome... fucking racing simulator game. You know, they open their conference with, like, look, we have a Porsche on stage. Aren't we fucking cool? You know, the douchiest things that fucking Microsoft tends to do for their conferences. And then, fucking Sony is just like, they just shuffle their shit off to a fucking pre-show. Like, you know, because, like, Gran Turismo is still, like a beloved franchise, and they just shuffled that shit off onto their goddamn pre-show. So, you know, that's, like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Another Gran Turismo. I don't like Gran Turismo, but hey, like, you know, I always feel that, like legacy series like that should always still get, like, you know, an installment every once in a while. So it's cool that they haven't forgotten about it, that they are still, you know, gonna make stuff for that. Uncharted. You know, that's what I believe that's what the conference started off was, the new Uncharted, the all girl power Uncharted. Looks awesome. I mean, it's an Uncharted game. Uncharted games always look awesome at very least. They're not always awesome. Like Uncharted 3, I thought was bloated horseshit. That was way too damn scripted. This looks like, I'm hoping this one ends up more like Uncharted 2. Still haven't played Uncharted 4, but you know, I'm hoping it kind of leads more towards the Uncharted 2 thing. It looks awesome. Like I always like playing Uncharted games at very least, so I'm probably gonna play it. It looks good. They showed off the new Horizon DLC. They announced that. Really, I own Horizon. I bought Horizon at launch. and I still haven't fucking played it. Aggro's fucking played it. He fucking beat that shit. I still haven't. That motherfucker beat my copy of it because I was too busy playing Zelda. And I really just need to, like, hunker down. Like, I got some days off. I should just go and do that. Fuck. So, yeah. Yeah, Horizon, you know, anything attached to that fucking game looks amazing because it's Guerrilla Games. And their games are always gorgeous looking. And this one is no exception. And this one is actually, like, unlike their Killzone games, Horizon is a series that, or a game that I actually really want to play and just totally piques my interest. Then there's Days Gone, which is, like, I always forget the fucking name of this game. Like, the only reason I'm remembering it right now is because I looked it up in advance and I made a fucking list of all this shit. Days Gone, by Sony Bend Studios. I really like that studio. They did Resistance Retribution on the PSP. I thought the game was really great. It's one of my favorite PSP games. I think they made a fairly competent Uncharted on the Vita. So, like, I'm totally down for them finally having, like, a big console game again, because they haven't done anything since, like, I think Siphon Filter on the PS2 as far as console games go. And usually I don't give a flying fuck about the zombie games. I know, like, I was talking in the Microsoft video that Microsoft showed off, like, their own zombie game and stuff, and I was just like, that's still, like, that doesn't even look anywhere, State of Decay. State of Decay doesn't look anywhere near as interesting as Sony's zombie game, and then they showed off their zombie game again, and it still looks like, yeah, we get to see more of it, and the thing that makes that game so awesome is just the ridiculous amount of zombies that are on fucking screen. It's not like, oh, like, shambling zombies, stuff where you get attacked by one. No, this is floods of runner zombies. Like, there's a fucking bear zombie. There's a zombie grizzly covered in barbed wire and shit. Oh my god. Like, they just know how to, like that's just like really just elevating, like, the zombie game genre right there. When you not only have floods of zombies, but then you just zombie grizzly. Motherfucking zombie grizzly. That looks so goddamn rad. Yeah, I am so down for Days Gone. I wish it had a better name because I keep forgetting it. Just call it Fuck Ton of Zombies. Fuck Ton of Zombies, the game. I could remember Fuck Ton of Zombies. Shit, like, yeah, I mean, you won't be able to sell, like, your local Walmarts or Targets because you're like, we're not going to sell a game that's called Fuck Ton of Zombies. Well, that's okay, because people will, like, you know, see it as, like, a censorship thing, and then they will go out of their way to buy your game just because they feel that, like, you know, mainstream marketers are, like, trying to censor you, and, you know, they'll fucking think of it as some sort of social justice, you know, movement to buy this game that has fuck written on the cover. So yeah, do that. You know, people will never forget Fuck Ton of Zombies. People will keep like, everyone I know keeps forgetting the name of that. It's like, oh shit, what is that name called? Yeah, so yeah, Fuck Ton of Zombies, the game, I am so looking forward to. They announced Monster Hunter. That would be really cool if I liked Monster Hunter or have ever played one or had any interest in them. They look like alright games. I've just never had the inclination to ever play one. Shadow of the Colossus remaster, like, they're doing this crazy ass remaster that looks so much better than the one that was on the PS3. Oh my god, I might actually finally get to play Shadow of the Colossus. Like, I've never gotten around to that one either. It's one of those, like, games that I've always wanted to play. And I have the Ico collection. I bought that, but, like, I didn't, like, I bought it, like, way after it came out, and I didn't want to, like, reconnect my PS3 and shit because it was disconnected at the time, and, or actually I had it loaned out at the time to a friend, so, yeah, I just never got around to play Shadow of the Colossus, and now I'm like, well, shit, I might as well wait for that, because that looks pretty fucking cool. And speaking of things that look pretty fucking cool, God of War, which is something I never thought I'd say, that a God of War game, because, like, I don't really care for God of War. I really don't. I think I've played, like, little bits here and there from the franchise, and I've never been too big of a fan of the gameplay itself. Like, I think the gameplay is fine, I guess. It's just not really not my thing. And I always find Kratos to be the most insufferable piece of shit ever. And here this seems like it's kind of like, you know, he's not being as insufferable of a piece of shit. So I kind of like this version of Kratos, like Dad Kratos. a bit more. And the gameplay, like the gameplay looks so much better than it looks so much more intuitive and so much more refined than what I'm used to seeing. Because God of War games usually look more flail some chains around, hack and slashy. Very rarely do they ever look as appealing as, because like the trailer they showed off last time looked fine. This one looks a little bit more complete. I got to see a bit more gameplay mechanics involved, and oh my god, I'm excited about a God of War game, and I don't like fucking God of War at all. I'm just like, oh my god, am I gonna buy a God of War game? I might just buy a God of War game. Shit. Depends on really when it comes out, but if it comes out when other shit's coming out, I'll wait till later, or maybe just never play it. But it's got my attention, which is more than I can say other God of War games have. Detroit, David Cage, the guy who did Heavy Rain and Indigo Prophecy. I tend to dig his games. I really liked Heavy Rain. Never played Beyond Two Souls. Heard that one was bad. And Detroit seems like more of what I kind of wanted Heavy Rain to be, where it's just infinite options and now hidden agenda. So I'm actually getting this and hidden agenda, and it's oh man, I'm getting two of these games where it's just this choose your own adventure. It seems like anything could really happen. Just this infinite branching narrative thing that I could really get into, and I really want to get my hands on both of those games, and Detroit just looks really fucking cool. And that's kind of where a lot of the cool shit that pretty much covers a lot of the cool shit from the conference, because a lot of what the conference came after that is a bunch of VR bullshit. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's cool that you guys are still supporting VR, but I mean, put that in some other stream, or put that in the pre-show, or put that anywhere other than your main, I don't know, maybe it's to get investors involved and stuff. Look, we're really getting behind this VR thing, guys. But VR games always just look like shitty fucking mini games. They just, cause kind of what they are, shitty fucking mini games. I mean, I've used the PSVR. I've played a few games on it. It's fine. It's not revolutionary. It's not something that I really would go out of my way to want to own or play or anything. And the games for it never looked that interesting. So fuck the PlayStation VR. This is reminding me of when fucking Microsoft was constantly pushing the Kinect, and I'm like, God, this looks like shit. Stop it. It's just, but this actually, one, they're not pushing it anywhere near as hard as Microsoft ever pushed the Kinect, and two, the games for the PlayStation VR do look better than games for the Kinect. So there is that. That is a huge benefit, I would say. And then they showed off third-party games. And the third-party games were Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which looks like fucking dog shit. I didn't even like Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I felt like it was just kind of dumbed down, beat 'em up, shitty fucking 2D fighter. And this one looks... I've heard this one plays a little bit better, but I still hear it's not that much better. And I think it just looks like utter fucking dog shit. A Call of Duty game. God, it's so fucking weird to see Call of Duty now on Sony's conferences, because that stuff always used to be on the Microsoft conference, because Microsoft was yeah, we have all the Call of Duties, and that was cool because the Xbox was the Dude Bro console, and Call of Duty was the Dude Bro game, and now it's not kind of the go-to Dude Bro game, I guess. So now Microsoft isn't as interested in it, and so now it's just kind of on Sony's stage, I guess. And then we got Destiny 2, which is kind of the successor to Halo. Destiny's kind of the successor to Halo, and so it's kind of weird. So we're having Call of Duty and Halo now on the Sony stage, and I mean, once again, multi-platform. like it's 3 multi-platform titles that I don't give a flying fuck about, and I feel like they took up way too much of that conference. But they turned it all around. They turned it all around at the very end with motherfucking Spider-Man. Holy shit. That Spider-Man game looks so goddamn awesome. Oh my god. Like, first off, like, I love the aesthetic. I love the new suit that they gave him. I love, like, the gameplay mechanics. Like, I like Insomniac. Like, Insomniac, I think, makes fairly good games. Like, I love the Resistance well, I like Resistance 1 and 3. I think those are great games. Resistance 2 is a fucking travesty that got everything wrong. But Resistance 3 was one of my favorite games last gen. Like, the Ratchet and Clank games always look like a lot of fun stuff. So, I mean, like, Insomniac is a talented developer, and it looks like they're really putting their best foot forward with this Spider-Man game. And this really does feel like this is going to be the Arkham Asylum of Spider-Man games, because like I feel like we haven't had a good Spider-Man game since the PS2. Like, you know, there was Spider-Man 2. Like, Spider-Man 2 was awesome. Ultimate Spider-Man, that was great too. And then we forgot how to make Spider-Man games. Like they kept I don't know, it's just, you know, like Spider-Man 3 comes out and it was broken horseshit. Like, some of the other ones were more interested in, like, look at, like, all the different Spider-Man we have, or look at this, like, you know, crazy narrative we're doing, and it's just like, yeah, that's cool and all. How's the gameplay? Like, and, like, you know, a lot of them don't really focus on the web swinging or the open world environments. Because, like, I'm not a huge fan of the open world game, but if anyone needs an open world game, it's motherfucking Spider-Man. So, yeah, I'm really glad to see, like, the direction that this game is going. The web swinging looks a lot of fun, like, you know, like, probably the best it's been since the PS2. Like, you know, this is the first time where I've really seen the web swinging, because, like, oh, that's not true. The Amazing Spider-Man looked kind of cool. Like, those games looked pretty neat, but they also looked way too hand-holdy. And this one, yeah, though it is, like, a lot of quick-time events, they are pretty cool-looking quick-time events, and this one has, like, a lot of options, it feels like, in the gameplay, where you can do, like, environmental stuff where, like, Spidey can, like, web something, like, and drop it onto a dude, or, like, you know, he has, like, that one thing that they show where he like, puts a little launcher thing onto a wall, like, fires at a wall, and then, like, the guy comes and the motion center webs him. Like, that's really cool stuff. Like, yeah, there's, like, the game just has, like, some really cool looking fucking mechanics that I really want to try for myself to see if they feel as good as they look. Like, I have a lot of really high hopes for this one, and, like, I'm hoping it plays anywhere near as good as it looks. Like, this game just looks so goddamn good. So I'm really looking forward to actually getting my hands on it and seeing if it really delivers on, like, because this game looks like it's actually going to be like, this is what it's like to be Spider-Man. Like, and if that's the case, sign me the fuck up for, like, a game that really, like, nails, like, what it's like to be Spider-Man. So yeah, like, that's the conference, and like I said, like, you know, there's a lot of cool stuff in this, like, and I did like, you know, how this conference was just trailer, gameplay, trailer, gameplay, trailer, gameplay, trailer. Like, they just ratcheted out things. They, like the CEO of Sony USA, like, comes out twice. He came out, like, after, I think, like, the second or third trailer, and then he came back at, like, near, like, the end, and I think to announce Spider-Man. And, like, their conference was only an hour, but it was a densely packed hour, and they really just kept the momentum going. Just game. And that's something I really wish I saw more of from these conferences. But something that really disappointed me, though, because like I said, this conference was a bit of a disappointment in that, like, during the actual conference itself, we didn't really see new titles. Like, you know, and there's a Monster Hunter game. Okay, like, you know, that's a new announcement. that's cool. Um, but then it's just like, you know, like Shadow of the Colossus. It's like a remake. Oh, okay. And then a bunch of VR games and like a DLC pack for Horizon. Those were the new things that were shown off. Like, you know, a remake, VR bullshit, a DLC pack, and then Monster Hunter on the PS4. Like, you know, and yes, I'm not going to downplay Monster Hunter. Yes, it's an important franchise. Yes, it has a lot of, you know, really dedicated fans. And yeah, it's, you know, like, I'm sure it is actually a really, really big deal. But, like, I just personally wish we could have gotten more than just that. And it's a real shame that, like, you know, their pre-show actually did have more stuff to show. Like, I kind of wish that they just, you know, like, cut Destiny 2, cut Call of Duty, cut fucking Marvel vs. Capcom, cut the fucking VR bullshit, shuffle that bullshit off into its own thing, put fucking Hidden Agenda in there, and, like, have, like, the developer talk about it a little bit. Fucking have Gran Turismo in there. Like, don't open with Gran Turismo. Like, don't pull a fucking Microsoft, but you could have had Gran Turismo there, because Gran Turismo still is this long-running beloved franchise, even though, you know, it hasn't been around for a while, and even though it's not my thing, you know, I feel it would have made for a better presentation. Because, you know, they put Undertale. Undertale is now going to be on consoles. You know, it's going to be, you know, exclusive to the PS4 and the Vita. That's pretty cool. That could have been something that I think would have been more interesting to show off. I think that would have been way more surprising than some of the other games that they showed off. So yeah, this conference could have been better, and I feel like it was disappointing because, you know, there's almost nothing new in terms of actually new. Like I said, Monster Hunter is the only full new game that was shown off. Everything else is gameplay of games we already knew about from like last year's E3, and then almost everything is just like everything is like 2018. Everything's 2018. Things that aren't 2018, Hidden Agenda, which is coming out 2017. Like, why wasn't that? Could have been in the show, and that would have been way more interesting than a lot of the other stuff that they were showing off. Gran Turismo, I believe that's also 2017. So, you know, showing off things that are actually coming out this year, because that was a big issue that is like my big issue. Is that, like, everything is old stuff, like new footage of old stuff that's not coming out until next year. So there wasn't really a lot to look forward to in the near future. You know, I think God of War is like early 2018, but that could still get pushed back at any point. You know, it's a big budget, you know, AAA title. I don't expect it to actually make its original release date. I expect it probably spring or summer. So yeah, like I said, like, the Sony conference, like, Sony has great shit to show off. I just feel like they didn't put their best foot forward with the actual conference, and it could have been a lot better. Next up is Nintendo. I've actually already, by the time I'm recording this, the Nintendo conference has actually already happened, so I already know the stuff that I'm going to be talking about there. But, you know, this is the Sony video, so we're only talking about the Sony stuff. And, yeah, like I said, great stuff showing off. I wish there was more new stuff, and I wish the conference itself were a bit more impressive instead of things being shuffled off to, like, the pre-show and sizzle reels and things like that, because, you know, like, I like to see Sony put their best foot forward, because I've seen Sony do this before too, where, like, I'd be like, yeah, the conference was pretty good, and then, like, I see, like, other shit that's on the floor that's, like, Sony exclusives, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like the year that Gravity Rush was debuted, that was at an E3, you wouldn't have known unless you had seen it show up in a sizzle reel, and then you've seen it, like, people playing it on the floor later on in E3. Like, and, like, you know, in a trailer that was very kind of, like, stealth tossed away, like, you know, just kind of tossed out there. You know, and that game's fucking awesome. That's, like, one of the best fucking games on the Vita. It's probably one of the best games that Sony's made in, like, the last, like, 5-ish years. So, like, yeah, the fact that they shuffled that one off into the shadows, and, like, Sony does shit like that all the time, and it's always, you know, like, I like being a Sony fan because Sony has a diverse lineup that really appeals to me as a gamer, but motherfuckers just don't know how to put their best foot forward sometimes, and that's so goddamn annoying. But yeah, that's what I had to say about Sony's conference. Like I said, it's a good conference. It could have been a lot better. And yeah, till next time, Zeon out.